How is the third phase of BAM's modernization and expansion going? And it's all very active. New tunnels, bridges, and stations are being built there. But first things first. Russian Railways has launched the third stage of the Eastern Polygon development, which will include the construction of the second Kodarsky, second Severomuysky, and second Kuznetsovsky tunnels, as well as a new railroad bridge in Komsomolsk-on-Amur. The first tunnel is planned to be completed by the end of 2030, and the construction of 2 more tunnels and a bridge across the Amur River by the end of 2032. The preliminary cost of works of the listed objects amounted to almost 500 billion rubles. The entire cost of the third stage is estimated at about 3,700 billion rubles. It is noteworthy that the implementation of the final stage of the Eastern Polygon began in 2024, when the whole country is preparing to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the construction of the Baikal-Amur main line. As Oleg Belazarov, head of Russian Railways, said, quote, "It is symbolic that in the year of BAM's 50th anniversary we are launching the design and construction of 4 key infrastructure facilities. We do not have the virtually infinite resource that the Soviet Union had, but today we have unique technologies and competencies that allow us to say with confidence that the third BAM will be built on time and at the highest level of reliability and safety." End of stats. So, what is currently happening at BAM? The eastern polygon of our country consists of the Baikal-Amur and Trans-Siberian railroads. Since 2013, as part of the modernization of the polygon, Russian Railways has been carrying out a set of priority measures aimed at multiplying Russia's export potential, the goal of which is to eliminate bottlenecks on railroads in Siberia, Transbaikalia, and the Far East. The first phase of the project was planned to provide in 2020 an additional 66.8 million tons of cargo transportation per year to the 2012 level. As a result, the carrying capacity of the Baikal-Amur and Trans-Siberian Railway reached 144 million tons in 2020. The total investment of Russian Railways for the implementation of the first stage amounted to 520 billion rubles, including 349 billion of its own funds. It is planned to increase the carrying capacity of the Eastern Range main line to 180 million tons in 2024. In order to realize these goals, the Railway Holding Company has been implementing the second phase of the polygon development since 2018. As a result, its carrying capacity was increased to 158 million tons at the end of 2022 and to 173 million tons in 2023. At the same time, the carrying capacity of BAM itself has almost tripled since the start of modernization, from 14 million tons in 2012 to 41 million tons in 2024. The total cost of the second stage of the modernization program may reach Br 1,100 billion. It should be noted that investments in the development of the Eastern Polygon showed systemic growth, almost doubled, and reached a record figure of 250 billion in 2023. Rubles. In comparison, 35 billion was allocated in 2019. Rubles, in 2020 69 billion, in 2021 78 billion will be spent on the development of BAM. Rubles, and in 2022, the amount of investments amounted to 138 billion rubles. In turn, the new scope of work required a significant transformation of the entire construction area. As a result, for the past 2 years, the railroad workers of the Eastern Range have been performing modernization work year-round, abandoning the notion of a construction season. This approach has allowed for a tremendous amount of work to be completed, traffic to be opened, and more than 140 facilities to be put into temporary operation during 2023. The third stage of BAM and Trans-Sib development provides for the possibility of transportation of 210 million tons in 2031 and 270 million tons in 2033 along the control section of the Eastern Polygon. Highways are being developed for all kinds of transportation. Now coal, oil, timber, and metallurgical cargoes are transported through the Eastern Polygon. Containerized shipments are popular for both domestic and foreign trade, be it export, import, or transit. After the economic and logistics turnaround to the east, the load on the railroad infrastructure has greatly increased, so development is now relevant for almost all shippers. What work is currently underway at BAM? The implementation of the BAM and Trans-Sib development projects began in 2013. During this time, more than 3,000 and more than 5,000 kilometers of railway track were built and modernized. In particular, more than 100 bridges and tunnel were built and reconstructed, including the largest bridges over the Lena River, Buria, Zaya, and Salinga. New Kuznetsovsky tunnel, 3.9 kilometers, and Baikal-Sky tunnels, 6.7 kilometers, were built. And the Komsomolsk-on-Amur, Oblachinsky, and Vladivostok tunnels were reconstructed. In fact, within the framework of the project, a fundamentally new quality railway infrastructure is being created with the involvement of the most advanced technical and technological solutions. For example, after completion of the first and second phases of the project, freight trains with a weight limit of 7,100 tons will be able to move along all sections of BAM against 5,600 to 6,000 tons, and 4,900 tons in some sections. Also being laid is a stronger rail tie on the railroad base, so the station tracks will be able to accommodate 71 car freight trains. Now the maximum capacity of such trains is 57 cars. The second phase of the project is currently being completed, which will increase eastbound throughput capacity from 144 million tons in 2021 to 180 million tons in 2024. This stage includes the construction of 1,481 kilometers of additional main tracks, construction of 29 and reconstruction of 4 junctions, reconstruction of 29 stations, 335 kilometers of station tracks, and construction of an overpass interchange on the Far Eastern Railway. A 12 kilometers 200 m bypass of the Shkotovo-Smolyan-Inovo section on the Far Eastern Railway is also being constructed, including a new Shkotovo tunnel and strengthening of traction power supply devices on the Trans-Siberian and Bama sections, which will increase the weight limit of freight trains heading towards Far Eastern ports. On the western section of BM in 2024, work is planned to build 2 turnouts, 15 two-point stakes, and lay second tracks at 4 crossings. Reconstruction and infrastructure modernization works will affect a number of stations, including Novaya Chara and Bolshoy-Lug. Large-scale reconstruction of the Tayshet station is also underway. It is the starting point of the BAM, the largest transportation hub that processes cargo flows both towards Far Eastern ports and westward to the central regions of the country. The station has already been converted to a digital train control system. A complex of overpasses has also been erected here, allowing for the most efficient distribution of traffic flows. Another major rail junction upgraded under the station project is Toksima. It provides a large amount of shunting, cargo handling, and change of traction. Farther east, the track is not yet electrified, so instead of an electric locomotive, a diesel locomotive is hitched here. 3 additional receiving and departure tracks were built at the station and 4 existing tracks were repaired. 13 new switches were laid, more than 6 kilometers of contact network and 58 kilometers of new communication lines were extended. Lighting was installed, technological buildings and facilities were reconstructed. The main goal of the station reconstruction is to optimize the technological process and increase the carrying capacity on the Lena-Taksima section from 37 to 40 million tons per year, and on the Taksima-Novaya Chara section from 30 to 38 million tons per year. On the eastern section of BM, since the beginning of the year, traffic has already been opened on the second main track at a number of crossings, including 323rd kilometer, Lyudiu, Isa Gvozdevsky, Udami, Aun, 1945th kilometer, and Monkan. The new Dus-Allen tunnel is also completed in 2024. The new 1,824-meter-long tunnel is being built parallel to the existing tunnel, which was built in 1982. Boring began in 2021, and the first trains will travel through the tunnel in December 2024. The artificial structure will increase throughput capacity on the Novy Urgal, Komsomolsk-on-Amur line in the direction of Pacific ports, making it double-track. In addition, 30 more objects are to be reconstructed on the section from Komsomolsk-on-Amur to Vanin by the end of 2024. This will double the section's carrying capacity from 40 to 82 million tons. High-performance tunnel boring complexes for tunnel works. Modern specialized construction equipment are used at the old construction sites. Domestic locomotives with improved characteristics have been developed and purchased specifically for operation in harsh natural and climatic conditions. Diesel locomotives 2TE25K Perezvet and 2TE25A Vityaz. Electric locomotive ES5K Ermak. At the beginning of 2024, the first import-substituted domestic mainline diesel locomotives TT28 began operating at BM. In terms of the scale of the idea, complexity of natural conditions, and technical solutions, the project is comparable to the creation of the Trans-Siberian Railway, the very first BM, or the Karakum Canal. What is the role of the highway in the development of the region? The Eastern Range Development Plan makes a significant contribution to the country's GDP growth, accelerates the development of strategic territories in the Far East and Eastern Siberia, and generates domestic demand for the products of metallurgical, machine building, and other sectors of the national economy. The railroad infrastructure has a direct impact on the living standards of the population and creates prerequisites for increasing passenger and freight traffic throughout the country. It is BM that today makes it possible to effectively utilize the current energy market conditions. The infrastructure megaproject is a powerful driver of development of adjacent territories with significant production and economic potential. Initially, the Baikal-Amur main line was designed as an integral part of a complex project to develop the significant natural resources of the territories through which the road ran. It was planned to build 9 territorial industrial complexes giants along the BM route. As a result, 63 settlements and 3 new towns, Severomuysky, Tinda, and Fevrolsk, were founded in the history of the Eastern Range. The current scenario for the development of the Eastern Polygon, developed by Russian Railways and supported by a working group of the Russian government, envisages the construction and reconstruction of 346 infrastructure facilities. The modern development of the main line up to the design capacities of the first and second stages of modernization has not only significantly increased Russia's export and transit opportunities in the east, but also made it possible to fully return to the implementation of projects for the development of major fields located in the zone of BAM's gravity. Thus, the infrastructure project has become an integral part of the transportation framework of the Russian economy. The highway also contributes to the creation of new jobs. Now about 30,000 specialists are employed at the Eastern Polygon. What are the prospects for the Eastern Range? At present, the BAM is largely used for transportation of ore, coal, oil, timber, and other cargoes, and the Trans-Siberian Railway for passenger and container transportation from the ports of the east to the west and back. In the future, the Eastern Polygon will become the basis for changing global transportation flows and forming new international transportation corridors, creating opportunities for regional development and strengthening the country's transportation security. The comprehensive modernization of the two main branches of the Baikal-Amur main line and the Trans-Siberian Railway should almost double the capacity of the railway network from 75 to 180 million tons, which will significantly reduce the time of cargo delivery by rail. This will give Russia an advantage in the development of both its internal transportation and logistics system and its external connection to global transportation routes, which will increase the country's role in world trade. BAM and Trans-Sib are already becoming drivers of economic growth. In the future, highway development work will help improve the supply of goods to residents of Eastern Siberia, Transbaikalia, and the Far East, as well as make transportation links with other parts of the country more accessible. This plays an important role for the development of domestic tourism as well. At the same time, the expansion of the Trans-Eurasian Transport Corridor will provide new industries and jobs for railroad workers, skilled construction workers, and power industry development. But I'd also like to announce the good news. TMH, one of the world's leading machine-building companies, returns from Cyprus to Russia. Transmarsh Holding buys back the shares owned by the French and then goes offshore within a few months. Part of the shares of this company belong to the French. Now these shares will be transferred to the Russian shareholders, and TMH will be registered in Russia. What is Transmarsh Holding? This company manufactures rolling stock for railway and urban rail transportation and is one of the largest manufacturers of such products in the world. This is a very serious and big company that brings in a lot of money to our country. The factories, which are part of this company, produce railroad cars, freight and passenger, and subway cars, diesel locomotives and electric locomotives, electric and diesel trains, rail buses, diesel engines for diesel locomotives and ships, diesel generators, various components, repair and maintenance of their products. TMH operates in more than 30 countries around the world. Here are a few of the most prominent examples of what this company produces. For example, shunting diesel locomotive TM23 has a very bright and futuristic design, which distinguishes it from all others. It is produced at the Bryansk machine building plant. Today, TM23 is the most technologically advanced electrically powered diesel locomotive in the world. Or, for example, the 3TE28 mainline diesel locomotive is designed to drive heavy trains in harsh climates. Or diesel locomotive 3TE25KM2M with AC/DC electric transmission, designed for heavy freight traffic on the eastern range of Russian railways. Or the passenger electric train EP20 Olympus. It can introduce trains of up to 24 cars on sections with difficult terrain with minimal impact on the track. TMH is also the largest manufacturer of diesel, gas diesel, and gas piston engines. They make them for locomotives, river and sea vessels, nuclear and small power plants. In general, the fact that TMH is moving to Russian jurisdiction and buying back its shares from foreign partners is very good news.